this ban list kind of sucks. So I guess let's go ahead and talk about it. I know it's been like 7 hours since it was revealed, but I was busy all day today, and this is the first chance I've had to sit down and record anything. So there's not going to be a live reaction. This is going to be a little bit more thought out. So hopefully you like that. If you do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm really hoping to try and ramp up the subscribers in the coming weeks and months. But with that out of the way, I guess let's go ahead and talk about it. So it's been a minute since we had a ban list. Been a minute since we thought we would be getting a ban list. Been like a month. And this ban list did not live up to the expectations set by, forcing the player base to wait this long. I will say that there's some good hits, but it's not enough. And some of the hits just don't make any sense. So let's go ahead and talk about Diablosis first. I'm not going to talk about them in any super meaningful order. I am going to talk about them by hits, and then I'll give my general thoughts at the end. So Diablosis is a good band, but it's not enough. Like, Diablosis was not the problem. It was a problem, but it was not the problem with Kashtira. With Arise Heart still around, that deck is still just way too oppressive. I will say that Diablosis ban now makes it where the format isn't warping around knowing that one of the cards in your extra deck is going to be yoinked right out, but that's not enough to fix this. Cyberstein ban is hilarious. I mean, who knew cheating a fusion out for free was going to be a problem? I mean, the fact that it basically made certain decks just unbelievably strong, being able to turbo out Exterio is just hilarious. Scarecrow seems a bit excessive. Super Heavy Samurai is like a budget option this format, and it seems like Konami is just kind of like kicking the budget players while they're down. Like, Kashtira is already difficult to compete with. Like, Super Heavy Samurai isn't even like seeing all that much representation relative to other decks, so I don't really think it needed a hit. A pointer ban is interesting because from my perspective, I was expecting them to unhit Trap Dust Shoot to go along with a pointer, because they did that with Mind Control and Change of Heart. But, banning a pointer is also good, because I think that card is a little oppressive. Expulsion ban does nothing. With White Albion, like, you can still achieve the exact same thing. The only thing that this does is it now proves that White Albion has a target on his back. So onto the limits. Blaster to 1 was something that everyone sort of saw coming, but still nice to see it happen. Now, Circular, Delicious Memory, and Sacred Tree to 1 feel like sort of Konami's attempt to like nuke the format, just kind of curb the power level of everything just outside of what's seeing the most play right now, which is Kashtira. Like, all that does is make Kashtira stronger by making the decks that were just barely outside of it a lot weaker. So Arise Heart to 1 does functionally nothing, because it's still part of the end board. You can still make it extremely easily. It's still oppressive. Danglong to 1 is a little scary. Either it's going to prove to be way too strong and they're going to have to reban it in a format or two, or we're going to realize that it wasn't really that good, or it's not really that good anymore. Like, the meta has moved past it and no one's going to play it. I think Gamma to 1 is probably the hit that will probably have the most lasting impact. Gamma has been consistently playable for so long that it's really scary to see it go to 1, because it was a really good card that helped check a lot of very specific circumstances. And I'm a little upset because I have a set of supers that I was really excited to be able to play at some point, and now I'm just not going to be able to. So the semi-limits, I mean, YouTubers say all the time, abolish the semi-limited list, and this really is absolutely no different. Like Lightning Storm to 2, come on, what does that do? Now, Unicorn, Fountain, and Starter going to 2 is laughable because every single one of these are searchable within their respective archetypes. Putting them at 2 just means that you open them less consistently. That doesn't really do anything. Orange Light to 2 is cool for like Drytron and Tier Limit, but those decks aren't really seeing play right now, so I don't really know if anyone's going to bother with those. Engage to 2 is a little scary, especially once we get to an unhit later on. As somebody who has the Striker deck and likes to play it, I'm pretty excited about this. I'm a little sad because now I think I only have one copy, so I'm going to need to get a second one, but we're going to have to see if this amounts to anything because, Engage into Engage was a big reason why people hated that deck to begin with. Now onto the Unlimits. Steam the Cloak and Quick Fix makes sense given that the cards that made them a problem are both banned. So I don't really think that's going to have any sort of meaningful effect on the format. It's not like Spiral is going to suddenly be playable with an extra 2 Quick Fix. Samsara Lotus feels like it shouldn't be unbanned, but I guess the FTK that it enables isn't really all that good or consistent, so I guess it makes sense to bring it off. Birdman is bad and probably could have come off the list a long time ago. As a Lyralust player, I'm really happy to see Recital back to 3. I'm probably going to sleeve up Bird Up and try that deck out. Now, Multi-Roll is the unhit I was talking about for Sky Striker. Having that card come to 3 is a little wacky because Multi-Roll is basically like how you guarantee your inevitability in that deck. It basically means that any given Striker card now represents like 2 of itself, which is a little crazy. Like, yes, it causes the cards to get banished, but it basically allows you much more of a grind game and more of like a long-term livability, which was also what made that deck so oppressive. But the meta may have shifted past it, and it may not be good anymore, so we'll have to see. Now, Draco Face-Off is interesting because Draco Slayer has been pretty consistently playable for a while since the new Draco Slayer stuff came out, and it's been getting pretty consistent tops. So I guess they want to push it more, but we'll have to see. Oh, abrupt change of scenery. Yeah, I'm currently taking the pup for a walk. Yeah, guys don't need to watch her go to the bathroom. Yeah, I am not remotely a fan of this ban list. I think that this hits a lot of the periphery decks a little too hard. Like, the fact that all that Pearly got was memory to 2, and then Math Mech, a deck that really probably wasn't even in the top 5 anymore, got circular to 1, and a brand new deck in Super Heavy Samurai got their Link 1 banned. Like, I don't know, that seems like a lot, right? That seems like way too much. But I'm not Konami, so who knows? Maybe they know something I don't. Maybe there's new stuff coming out for those decks in the near future. I mean, and the continued existence of a Rise Heart means that Kashtira is just going to continue to be the best deck. I mean, Diablosis represented 2 zone locks on its own, so the ceiling on the number of zones you can lock turn 1 is definitely lowered with Diablosis banned, but like, there were a lot of decks that were just ending on a Rise Heart pass as a means to play around Nibiru and still winning games. So, it's very possible that the deck still continues to exist, just not quite in the same capacity. I'm really not looking forward to continuing to have to deal with a macrocosmos, but It's not a whole lot I can do at this point. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Like I said at the beginning, please subscribe. Really trying to bolster my subscriber number. So, please give me that rush of serotonin if you can. And yeah, have a good one.